This is William Hemphill with William Hemphill Artisan Furniture. How are you today? So today, did I say today twice in a row? Is that a faux pas? Hey Pa, speaking of Pa. So let's discuss this. This is the first cutting board in the new series, which is the old series. And these are 5 3/8 by 8 3/8. Actually, I think they're 8 5/8, and that one's just a little small. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to number it. 0, 0, where's the 6? Here's the 6. Okay. So we're just going to take this little guy, and we're going to go, these were given to me by Astor West. 0. It's a little loud because the surface isn't solid. 6. 0, 0, 6. And we're going to leave the 0 out, and we're going to put the 6 away, face down. That way we know we use that one. Okay, cool. So now we've had some discussion over what kind of oil to use. I use cooking oil, and I'm going to tell you why. Cooking oil is, this is organic, it's sustainable, it's natural, and then people say, well, what if it goes rancid? Well, the word rancid is kind of extra gross, isn't it? Rancid, ooh, it sounds horrible. So when cooking oil spoils, it is no less edible than it is when it's fresh. It just doesn't taste as good, right? If you have enough cooking oil on your cutting board that you can taste it, or if your cutting board has enough oil on it to go rancid, then we have problems besides the oil, right? So first, vegetable oil is natural, it's renewable, it's sustainable, and in this case, it's organic olive oil. Although that plastic container it came in, I'm going to need my olive oil to come in metal containers from now on, lima bean. Anyway, so here we have number 6. It is oiled in vegetable oil, specifically olive, Pompeian, extra virgin. Okay, cool. So for our next cutting board, number 7, zero, 0, 7. We're going to finish this one in some good old-fashioned 1030 weight motor oil. What do you guys think about that? Should we do this in 1030 weight? Do we like motor oil on our cutting board? So walrus oil. Walrus oil is available. It is from, Rockler or whoever. And this is pretty popular among, craftsmen. And what this is it's mineral oil with vitamin D. Okay? Mineral oil is a petroleum oil. So it's not sustainable. It's not renewable. But it really works, right? Like so much. They say that it's food safe. I believe them. I'm not going to criticize my own cutting board. I feel safe using it. It just doesn't, and since I have it, I will use it. It just doesn't feel like the most sustainable way to oil a cutting board, right? I doubt that people at home have walrus oil laying around. How many cutting boards would you have a gallon of walrus oil sitting? Now, if you notice, walrus oil and mineral oil come in almost the exact same container because they're almost exactly the same thing. Now, this is completely, food-grade mineral oil. But as I pointed out, they're still petroleum-based. And I'm not real fond of using petroleum-based stuff. Although if we put the side by side, it's a little bit shinier than the olive oil. But not much. And I find that it doesn't last as long. I think that using a cutting board every day, kind of rinsing it off every other day, every third day, whatever, and then just throwing a little bit of oil on it that's already in your kitchen is the easiest way to handle that. There's some disagreement, but Cool. All right, so let's get back. We're going to put this over here with the motor oil. And we'll put on the listing that number 7 is mineral oil instead of vegetable oil for those concerned about the ill effects of vegetable oil. All right, so let's get up to this big one. And this one's going to be 001 because it's the first of this size. Do you guys know why I oiled the bottom first? Because it sits, see this groove I've cut into it? So only the bottom edge touches. So if I oil it on the bottom first, then all that's really going to touch the cloth beneath it is this little edge, right? And so I'm not going to have contamination. You know, it's not like a bunch of surface area is going to be laying on my rag, which is a clean, you know, cloth, but I'm still not trying to have a bunch of surface contact. And so then I go around the edges. See the brass pens? Is there anyone we need to say good morning to?
There's a couple people.
Good morning, people. How are you? How's your morning? Let's get a little more oil. I like to just pour the oil right on the surface. Some people like to pour it on the rag. I just like to get it right in there. All right, and you see that, and this one is walnut and maple. We got this over at Carlton's Rare Wood and Veneers. Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. Carlton McClendon's Rare Wood. Look at that. That is a beautiful piece, right?
Yeah. 3
colors, nice and simple. Let's make number 2. Let's see how number 2 looks. All right, so what I do is, my goal is really not to design objects as much as it is to design space, right? So I'm trying to create things. That's number 5. I did this backwards the other day. That's number 2. Okay, cool. I'm trying to create space more than objects, right? I'm always trying to create like a whole space in the aesthetic of the craftsman, the early craftsman, handmade. You design the house, you design the furniture, you design the spoons like Frank Lloyd Wright would have, or William Morris, or the Green Brothers. What they were doing was creating entire environments and experiences, right? And due to the pandemic, I can't come to people's homes. So I was thinking, what are people going to need post-pandemic, right? We're going to have small gatherings after the pandemic. I don't see large parties happening for a while. We're all kind of shell-shocked. And so I figured small cocktail board to kind of take out to the patio with a couple limes sliced on it to present to your friends and then have a little experience, right, around the cutting board. Literally, like everyone kind of, you know, picks off some grapes or whatever is on it. And this one is walnut and cherry, and it has been olive oiled also.
Is it cherry or maple?
All right, I'm sorry, maple. Walnut and maple. And this is 9 3/4 by 9 7/8. Shooting for 9 3/4. Really what happens is I put it together and then I look for any spots that have cracks or crevices and then I cut that off. So this one's just a little bit smaller than that one. This one is 10 1/4 by 10 1/4. So this one's about a 1/2 inch smaller. And the bad news about these two cutting boards is they don't fit into a flat rate box. I mean, they fit into a flat rate box, but they're not an exact fit the way the rest of the collection is. It's really just a matter of getting that much wood that has no kind of defects in it, right? Because you want your cutting board to be pretty flawless. So what I'm doing is I'm making tops for the tiny tables. And as I'm looking through tiny tabletops, I'm trying to pick out the flawless pieces of wood to become cutting boards. All the next series of tiny tables are going to match this, by the way. The hempwood series is done. I do have a couple more hempwood tops. Probably going to need a little more oil. Right in there. What I like to do is just let a little bit of oil sit on the surface and then go back and wipe that oil off in like 3 or 4 minutes, right? Or say you're doing dishes, you wash it, you let it dry, you kind of oil it, and then before you put it away, you wipe it off real quick. And that just makes it super easy, right? To go through and use something you already have in your kitchen. People ask, like tiny tables, what do I wax them with? And any paste wax is good, but I know people who use Pledge, right? And Pledge is okay. Environmentally, I'm not thrilled about it, but it works fine, right? Trying to create objects that need all kinds of special care really kind of takes away from what we're trying to do here. What we're trying to do is create something that's easy to maintain, easy to live with, and beautiful, right? We're not trying to make life harder. We're trying to make life feel a little more celebratory. And I believe that's it. So take a look. Did I get the sizes of the little ones? 5 3/8 by 8 and is that 13/16? Anyway, and there will be 5 more up on Etsy this evening, as well as the 2 larger ones. Tiny tables should be done around Monday for the next series of those. And anyway, thank you.
All right.